Topping our news at this half hour, while airports in Tampa and Punta Gorda are adding new flight options for travelers, Sarasota-Bradenton International Airport is growing in a different way.
SRQ is also adding more seasonal flights to its schedule. Let's get the latest now. ABC 7's Jess Dowdrick joins us live at SRQ with more details on this. Jess?
Good evening, Haley and Scott. Just earlier this week, Tampa International Airport announced that Frontier Airlines is adding 11 new destinations for travelers. Meanwhile, down in Punta Gorda, they're seeing more passengers than ever at the airport. So what do those airports have that SRQ doesn't? Discount carriers. For airport passengers like John Wagner, it's the convenience that keeps him coming back to SRQ.
It's less congested than Tampa. It's easier airport to get in and out of. People are very nice and it's small.
But most Suncoast travelers aren't like Wagner and prefer the competition. Bigger airports like Tampa, Fort Myers, and Orlando. For those passengers, SRQ doesn't quite have what they need.
If they had more flights and better times. A lot of times if you take a flight out of Sarasota, there's going to always be a connecting flight.
It's the low-fare carriers like Frontier and Allegiant that are helping secondary airports like Punta Gorda grow, a market that Sarasota doesn't fit into.
Those services are usually services that fly 2 to 4 times a week to those destinations, so you're not going to get daily service. It doesn't serve the business community as well as the network carriers do, which we have all of those network carriers.
President Rick Piccolo says unfortunately the network carriers that SRQ houses, Delta, American, and United, aren't growing. But still, the airport will soon be adding more flights.
All of our seasonal services, Boston, Chicago, Detroit, Newark, are all going to start a month or two earlier, so we're starting to grow from that standpoint.
Even as the airport slowly grows, Piccolo says it's hard for SRQ to compete with larger airports.
When you're comparing us to other locations, especially to Tampa, it's a much bigger population base, and airlines are going to tend to go where more of the people are.
The bottom line is,
the only way we're going to grow is if people support the airport. If people continue to drive to other airports, there's no incentive for the airline to locate service here.
Piccolo says that SRQ is equipped to carry any airline at any time. However, SRQ is competing with 5 other airlines in the area. Piccolo says he's hopeful that Southwest Airlines will make its way to SRQ eventually. Haley and Scott.
And Jess, tell us how many flights are coming in and out of SRQ each day as of now.
Right now, there's about 20 to 30 in the summertime. When it comes to winter, it's about 40 to 50.
Right. Thank you, Jess. Live at SRQ.
Well, if you're flying from Mexico into the United States, there's now extra security checks to be aware of. Mexican authorities recommending passengers carry as few electronic devices as possible in carry-on bags. These are devices larger than a phone, such as laptops and tablets. The change took effect today. Back in March, U.S. authorities banned cabin electronics on departing flights from 10 airports in the Middle East over terror threat concerns.
A follow-up tonight on a British infant on life support. The parents of Charlie Gard are anxiously awaiting a report from an American neurosurgeon. His opinion on the condition of their son could determine whether he lives or dies. Charlie has undergone 2 days of fresh examination by a new team that includes that U.S. brain specialist and an Italian doctor. Charlie has a severe genetic illness. He cannot see, hear, or even breathe without help. That's why British doctors want to turn off his life support, but his parents are refusing to let that happen.
He's our son, he's our flesh and blood. We feel that it should be our right as parents to decide to give him a chance at life.
Last week, a judge agreed to let the American neurosurgeon see if Charlie could benefit from an experimental treatment. He's expected to deliver a report on his opinion to the judge tomorrow.
Well, some areas on the Suncoast getting some heavy rain right now. Let's get the latest on that and more with meteorologist Steve Newman, who's in for Bob tonight.
Thanks, Scott. Well, you can hear it in the air. There's the rumbling of thunder across a lot of our viewing area. And by satellite from the new GOES 16 satellite, takes pictures every 5 minutes. You can see the bursting, just the boiling up of these storms. If we switch to radar and see the actual rain falling from them, you can see in the last couple of hours there's just been an explosion in coverage area and intensity. A lot of lightning with these, so stay indoors unless you absolutely have to be traveling, because those blue bolts, those are the most dangerous positive strikes. There are a lot of them around right now. These storms will probably ease off as we move through the evening hours, and we can see this in our high-resolution futurecast that shows the storms moving east and thinning out, and generally fair skies overnight. But in the early morning hours, more storms may develop, and we could get a repeat of the 5 a.m. wake-up call with thunderstorms around the area. Temperatures cooling off to the upper 70s by dawn. Complete forecast coming up in a few minutes. Scott, Haley.
Thank you, Steve. The Venice Police Department is investigating allegations of bullying at the Venice fishing pier.
A person sent an email to the city alleging he and his wife were harassed by late-night fishermen on the pier.
Now the city is trying to decide what to do about that. ABC 7's Christopher Brantley reports from Venice.
As it stands, the Venice fishing pier is open 24 hours a day. But could that be changing in the wake of some complaints sent to the city government? This email prompted some serious questions. The author of the email suggests he and his wife were harassed by local fishermen last Saturday night. There is even an allegation that one of the fishermen committed battery on an 8-year-old.
We did investigate that, and that was not the case. There was no battery on an 8-year-old.
Police Chief Tom Mattmuller says the usual complaints come from inappropriate fishing, not behavior, but his department is investigating. Some security camera footage of the incident does exist.
It does provide some video footage, but it's not in some of the areas, not all areas of the pier are covered, and that's one of the things that we are looking at.
The email's author says they called 911, but they weren't happy with the officer's response. The chief says the officer acted appropriately and investigated the matter. To prevent this kind of thing from happening in the future, there has been some talk of adding more security cameras or closing the pier at night, but the chief isn't fond of the latter. On Wednesday, fisherman Daniel Howard told us everyone he interacts with is very nice.
Kind of like it, you know, friendly people, you get to talk to them and they help you out. They help me unhook one of the fish that you're not supposed to touch because it got barbs on it.
If the city does decide to restrict the hours on the pier, that decision could only be made by the city council, and they are on summer break until mid-August. In Venice, Christopher Brantley, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Thank you, Christopher. A public housing project in Venice has been on hold for several years as the city tries to get state funding. Phase 2 of the Venetian Walk public housing facility has been held up by state and federal funding that would allow the city to build an $11 million public housing unit. Phase 1 of the project was completed in 2014. However, that facility is for people 65 and older. The new unit would be for people of all ages.
We're in the process of obtaining funding for Venetian Walk Phase 2, which will be a 52-unit building of 1, 2, and 3-bedroom apartments, and it will be for any age.
Coming up tonight on ABC 7 News at 7, we try to answer the question, why has it taken so long to get that promised funding?
Renovation plans at the Bobby Jones Golf Club are moving forward. But the City Commission voting last year to make upgrades to the city-owned facility. A group was formed to offer recommendations and put a master plan together on what's needed to improve the Sarasota course. Those recommendations will go before the City Commission for final approval. A master planner based out of North Carolina was hired to oversee the project.
We need new drainage, we need new irrigation. He's going to look at each and every hole and try to determine if could be some length added or if there's better bunker placement.
The master planner will also be looking at the clubhouse. A golf development center is also being considered for the facility. The city discussed a budget of $14 million. The master plan could be above or below that amount. And again, it will be presented next month to the City Commission. Still to come in your Suncoast News, another major health alert for Chipotle.
The latest virus that sent dozens of people to the hospital. Plus, how Apple is working to protect your emergency calls. We'll be right back.
What to do when your heating or air conditioning needs service or, heaven forbid, replacement? Call Air Now today. We've been serving Sarasota and Manatee County since 1946. We offer $49.95 tune-ups, lease or finance options, and remember, service today or it's free.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
During the past 10 years, Tidewell Hospice volunteers have provided more than 1 million hours of service. They sit with patients, giving caregivers a break. They work in offices. They take their furry friends on pet therapy visits. They even clown around. Every task performed by a volunteer makes a difference in the lives of our patients and their families. Join Tidewell's volunteer team. They're truly 1 in a million. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate
or shop at Goodwill,
I'm creating a job.
I am Goodwill, yeah, yeah.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help with Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sunny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
For the last 18 years, Samantha's Friends has been assisting people along the Sun Coast who have been challenged by catastrophic illnesses or affected by autism obtain a service canine. We need your help. Please show your support by attending our annual Celebrity Gala brunch and fundraiser. Call Sammy Lee at 941-448-8558 for more information.
Chipotle is dealing with another outbreak.
Company shutting down one of its Virginia restaurants this week after a number of people became ill. Their symptoms are reportedly consistent with the highly contagious norovirus, also known as a stomach flu. Illnesses were only reported in that particular restaurant. Company officials say it will be sanitized and reopened at a later date. This isn't the first time the restaurant chain has been hit with outbreaks. Back in 2015, several Chipotle locations across the U.S. temporarily shut down after hundreds of customers contracted E. coli.
Could preventing memory loss really be as close as your running shoes? Well, how about as close as your dinner plate? New research may provide the answer. ABC's Janae Norman explains.
Memory loss. When mild, nothing to worry about. But when it's a sign of severe cognitive problems or dementia, a troubling symptom, one that millions of Americans suffer to some degree. No wonder then that researchers are trying to find ways to prevent it or at least slow it down. Now, a new study out of Northwestern University suggests there might be a way. Researchers studied more than 700 people between 18 and 30, checking up on them periodically over the next 30 years, performing brain scans. Those people who exercised more, ate healthier, stopped smoking, and achieved a healthy weight were less likely to have brain scans finding memory loss, evidence of the important connection between heart health and brain health. Bottom line, the healthy things you do when young may pay off for your memory later. With this Medical Minute, I'm Janae Norman.
Now let's head over to Steve and see if we can take an evening walk tonight.
Well, it depends on where you're walking. There are a lot of storms in the area and a lot of lightning, so don't go outdoors right now. And this is the Lakewood Ranch Camp. You can see it in the last hour or so. A big burst of rain and thunder and lightning has passed over there. It's moving in mainly eastern part of Sarasota County and southern Sarasota County as well. 88 the current temperature, dew point, a moist 75, humidity 65%, and temperatures across the area pretty much in the mid and upper 90s, some upper 80s too. Look at those storms. They seem to have matured. In the last few frames, you can see the coverage area beginning to diminish a little bit there, but there's some still strong storms about, and a little lightning too, from Lakewood Ranch down over Mayaca River State Park. And just a few minutes ago, we had some very heavy lightning down in the park. That rain trying to spread toward Venice and Osprey, but it's decreasing in intensity. Now let's take a look at the nation's weather picture. High pressure from the Bermuda High stretching across Florida, controlling our weather pattern. Most of the activity right now up north. We have some severe storms passing over the Twin Cities and southeastern Minnesota right now. Take a look at the radar. Just in the last few minutes, a tornado warning was issued around the Rochester, Minnesota area. You can see that cell passing by, but looks like the Minneapolis-St. Paul area just got skirted by that storm. Temperatures across the nation quite warm. 91 in New York City, 90 at Boston, Atlanta 92. A cool sea breeze keeping Seattle cool with 71, 77 at Los Angeles, and San Francisco right now 65. But look at those over 100-degree magenta colors right in the heart of the nation. Now, the tropical weather outlook has improved considerably since a couple days ago. We had Tropical Storm Dawn that threatened the southern Windward Islands. It lost force just before striking Grenada, and its remnants are just meandering along the northern coast of South America and the Dutch Antilles, and that's really not going to be a factor anymore. If we take a look at the rest of the Caribbean and Gulf of Mexico, all clear. We don't have anything to worry about, but it's still early in the hurricane season. Now, if we take a look at our future cast, the rainfall patterns for the next 48 hours has a pretty good handle on where the storms are right now. As we move through the night, they pass on east and diminish. But look what happens tomorrow morning. They develop again, and just as we've seen for the last couple of days, they build up and move across the state. And by late in the afternoon, a lot of them are somewhere along the Atlantic coast of Florida. That's going to happen again on Friday, too, with another burst. This pattern is really locked in place because of the position and strength of that Bermuda High stretching right across the Atlantic, in fact, all the way from the Azores. So our temperatures are looking like this for tonight. Our forecast, partly cloudy skies with calm winds, our low temperature about 76. This time of day, this time of year to expect temperatures to be around 75, so we're pretty close to normal. So the chance of thunderstorms will end, leaving us with only partly cloudy skies overnight. Now tomorrow, another humid day with the heat index near 101 degrees in some locations. And a few storms could develop once again with a high temperature pretty close to 90. That's pretty close to seasonal normal, with winds shifting from the east in the morning to west in the afternoon to 5 miles per hour. Now the next 7 days, no big changes we're going to see until early next week, I don't think. Day after day, 40, 50, 40, 50, the chance of precipitation right on through Sunday. Monday, perhaps less coverage, down to a 30% coverage Monday, Tuesday, but then more storms coming in next week. All in all, it's really hard because of the chaotic nature of our weather patterns to actually give an exact, precise chance of precipitation, but this is a pretty good bet. Our complete forecast coming up again in 30 minutes. Scott Healy.
Thank you, Steve. Taking a quick look at Suncoast Traffic Watch. Heavy congestion being seen around I-75 northbound between Clark and Cattleman Roads. And there's also some light congestion on Bee Ridge, as well as US 41 and 301. As you can see, some stretches of red there. And then in South County, not much backup being reported. Traffic is flowing pretty smoothly at this hour. In consumer news, Apple wants to make sure you can secretly call for help in an emergency. The company patenting a process that allows you to discreetly dial 911 using only your fingerprint. The technology would look for a sequence of fingerprints or applied pressure to trigger an emergency call. When the feature is used, it would give responders the location of the phone and could also pull live video or audio directly from the iPhone. It's unclear if Apple will build the technology into its software updates.
Back to school shopping season is approaching, and major retailers are expecting multi-billion-dollar profits. According to a recent survey, profits can reach up to $27 billion. Parents of students in grades K through 12 plan to spend about $500 per student, but about 20% of where and how that money will be spent has yet to be decided. That money is up for grabs and will likely go to retailers who attract customers with early promotions and digital experiences that make store visits more attractive. Meanwhile, Amazon is expanding its grocery options. Ready-to-cook meal packages will start being offered. The branded kits will come with the raw ingredients necessary to prepare home-cooked meals. The move comes ahead of the company's plan to purchase Whole Foods markets for $13.7 billion. The kits are only available in select markets right now, That includes Seattle, where Amazon has its headquarters.
What's old is new again and apparently more expensive. Birkenstock is offering a limited edition collection of its legendary footwear. The shoes feature oiled natural leather and handcrafted buckles in solid $925 sterling silver. The price is $799 because you have those sterling silver buckles.
Wow.
That's a lot. I'd rather wear my sterling silver and jewelry than on my feet.
Yeah.
But you would know that they would probably last a long time. There's that, I guess.
Sandals that don't typically last that long.
That's the thing, they wear out, but maybe with this nice leather and the nice buckles in sterling silver, maybe they would. Maybe that's the idea, that you could have these and then keep them forever.
Well, for $800, you hope they
You
will.
better hope
Yeah.
so, yep.
Entertainment news is next.
Hi, I'm Chef Judy. Every Wednesday morning, I'll be with the chefs at the Publix Aprons Cooking School serving up the most wonderful dishes. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast.
Get the hottest deals of the year during the summer clearance event going on now at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota. Come shop the Suncoast's largest selection of Ram trucks. Get maximum cargo space and more comfort with a new Ram Quad Cab for as low as $24,999. Or spread out in your spacious new Ram Crew Cab and save up to $10,000. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota today.
I heard about the Chipotle Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Chipotle Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was and some additional cancers that were not found during the biopsy. I would recommend the Chipotle Cancer Center. As a group of human beings, they are unbelievably great.
So you've decided to go to college. That's cool. So pop quiz. Which is a better way to earn your degree? Commute to college and fill your gas tank, get stuck in traffic, drive in bad weather, try to find a parking space, walk a half-mile to class, or learn online at Independence University. In the park on a bench, on the beach on a towel, or on your couch with your kid, your campus is wherever you want it to be. You don't go to college. College goes to you. That's independence. That's Independence University. You schedule classes around your schedule, and all your supplies, including a brand new laptop and tablet, are included with tuition. At Independence U, you'll learn from professional instructors with real work experience. You'll get personal support in school and employment assistance when you graduate. Get your degree, but keep your life. That's independence. That's Independence University. So if you're really smart, you'd call now.
Call 1-800-319-0237.
Independence U, for an independent you.
Call 1-800-319-0237.
I am the resident district manager on the FAU campus for Chartwell. Whenever I see Haley, I do not see a person with a disability. I see a person with extraordinary abilities. Haley is always smiling. She's always on time. She gives fantastic customer service and is always focused on any job that she's given.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Prince William and Duchess Kate embarking on the second half of their 5-day European tour.
The Duke and Duchess of Cambridge arrived in Berlin today with their children, Prince George and Princess Charlotte. During their visit, they will be meeting with officials such as the Chancellor, Angela Merkel, and Germany's president. They'll also be visiting some signature landmarks such as the Brandenburg Gate. Before that, they were in Poland, where they visited a Nazi concentration camp and a replica of a Shakespearean theater. The couple will be in Germany for 3 days. The visit comes as Britain negotiates its exit from the European Union.
Harry Potter fans get excited. 2 new Potter books are coming out. Harry Potter, A History of Magic, the book of the exhibition, will take readers through subjects studied at Potter's Wizarding School Hogwarts, and Harry Potter, A Journey Through a History of Magic, will touch on mystical things such as alchemy, unicorns, and ancient witchcraft. Both books will be published in October. Their release is part of the British Library's Harry Potter exhibition that is celebrating the 20th anniversary of the launch of that series of books.
The man who created some of the best-known comics in history immortalized in Hollywood, Stan Lee, had his hands and feet cemented at the iconic TCL Chinese Theater. The legendary 94-year-old comic book creator is the force behind some of the world's most famous heroes and infamous villains, such as Spider-Man, the Hulk, X-Men, Doctor Strange, the Avengers, and Dr. Doom.
If I had known I was so good, I'd have asked for a raise.
The honor comes as Lee lost his wife of almost 70 years just 2 weeks ago. He will also be recognized at the San Diego Comic-Con, which starts on Friday. Congrats to him.
Looks good at 94.
Oh my gosh, he looks amazing.
I love his cameos in all those movies.
Right.
You know, he's one little scene where you can see him in. He's great.
Awesome.
We'll be right back with more news.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. Our promise means a new car you'll love. If not, return it for one you do. At Sarasota Ford, we promise live market pricing. We monitor national pricing on our entire inventory, so you get the best deal. In fact, we guarantee it. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.